Hey guys, I'm Daisho and I am here bringing you another arena run. This is all I do these days and it's fun, so I don't know. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I know that some people are sad that I'm not making some other videos, but either way, this is going to be okay. I had, I think, one person suggest Druid that they really wanted to see me play it, so I'll play it. Also, these are my three worst classes. I mean, it just doesn't work out for me with Hunter or Rogue. I don't know, it's just bad. But Druid, on the other hand, no, it's also one of my worst classes. But we'll try it out. Hopefully, we can get some awesome cards. Alright, so right off the bat, we got an interesting choice. Either Nourish or Stampeding Kodo. I do like drawing 3 cards, but I think that Kodo is going to be a little bit better here. I don't know. Guess leave in the comment section if Nourish is way better. I mean, if they're about equal, then that's fine. But alright, not too big of a fan of cards like this, +2/+2 and Taunt. I'm not even that big of a fan of like something like Blessing of Kings, which will always get you a 2-for-1. And there's a really good option in Fairy Dragon here, so I'm going to go ahead and take the 2-drop creature. Soul of Forest is an interesting card. It's very good when you're ahead, but it's not that good when it's okay, so it's very good when you're ahead or when it's like sort of an even board state, but that doesn't usually happen in Hearthstone. In Magic, it's a lot more common for you both to have 5 creatures on the battlefield, but in this game, if you're losing, then they're going to be killing all your creatures, and if you're winning, then none of their creatures are going to be alive. But there's very rarely a situation where you both have a lot of creatures around. So you have to be winning for this card to be good, and that just makes me not want to play it as much. It's very good at shutting the door and being like, alright, there's no way you can come back from that. And since I do have an option in Swipe, which is a really good removal spell, I'm going to go for it. Okay, this is a very easy choice. Starfall. It is area of effect with the 2 damage to all enemy minions, or I can just destroy something. Plus these 2 cards are both pretty bad, so very happy to pick that up. Harvest Golem's a really good 3-drop. Moonfire, Nightblade, not really things that I'm looking to play. None of these cards are good, even remotely. I guess I'm going to take the Assassin. I don't know. It's not very good. Sorry about that. Got a Facebook message. Alright, so between Swamp Ooze and Ironbeak Owl, I think that's actually a really tough choice. This deck doesn't... I mean, it has Naturalize, but I'm not going to play. But it generally doesn't have anything that like just completely destroys them. Their creatures, rather. Sorry. Lost my train of thought there for a second. But yeah, it doesn't really have anything that just completely destroys their creatures. So picking up an owl is nice in case they play like a Sunwalker or something like that. But Swamp Ooze is really consistently good as a 3/2 for 2, and in some decks it can just be very, very powerful. So it's a tough choice, but I think, yeah, it's pretty equal in terms of how good these cards are going to be overall. I mean, they're very different cards because Swamp Ooze has applications in some games, but generally it's just a 3/2 for 2, whereas Owl is almost always played for his silence ability and rarely does the fact that it's a 2/1, or like that it's a creature come into play. So I think I'm going to go with the Ooze just to get some more consistent power. We get a second Ooze. Frostwolf Warlord is okay in Paladin or Shaman, but I'm not really willing to run in anything else. So we can pick up the Claw for some early removal, or Loot Hoarder for just a really good creature. I think I'm going to take the creature here. Maybe I'm going to miss the Claw, but I can usually find myself picking up a couple of them. There was a time where I would have just taken Master Swordsmith because I hated playing expensive cards, but Sunwalker's really powerful, so I'm going to go for it. Chillwind Yeti is just a really powerful 4-drop. Ogre is really good, and it's funny because when I started getting into Hearthstone, I would have never thought that Ogre would be a reasonable card, let alone a pretty good one, but either way, Yeti it is. Power of the Wild is a very good 2-drop. None of the other 2 cards are anything that I'm looking for. Again, these 2 cards are not anything that I'm looking for, but a pretty decent 5-drop. And another good 5-drop. I really like Druid of the Claw. It's one of my favorite cards in this deck. Shieldmaster's okay too. That guy sucks. Okay, so now we've got an interesting pick. can take baby Fire Elemental, but I guess I can go over the reasons why this card is so much worse than Fire Elemental, and the main one is that it's a 4/2 for 5, which means that it can trade with a 1-drop because it has 2 toughness, whereas Fire Elemental is a 6/5, so it's not going to trade with anything that it's got to trade with like a 4-drop or a 5-drop. So that's the main reason. The 3 damage versus the 2 is also pretty relevant, but the main one is just that it has a lot less toughness, or health rather. Acolyte of Pain is a pretty decent card. I'm short on 3s. I think I'm gonna go with it here. I have already 3 5-drops and only 1 3-drop, and we're about halfway through. And I do like Acolyte of Pain a lot, probably about as much as I like Stormflight Commando. But yeah, take another swipe. Very happy to pick up as many swipes as possible. These 2 cards are both pretty reasonable. They act as creatures that act as removal, but Starfire is removal, and it also is card advantage, so I love that card. I don't like any of these at all. 2 3s for 3 is just not where I want to be. 1 2 for 1 is also just not what I want to be doing. But I guess... Alright, I'm trying to look for synergies, why I should choose one over the other. So this guy's better if you can pump. This guy is better if you have something that affects your entire board. I guess I'll probably take this. Maybe I'll pick up like a Power of the Wild or something like that. Okay, so now I have a choice between a Wild Growth or a Scarlet Crusader. I think I'm going to take the consistently good creature over a pretty good spell. Hey, we got Legendary. And we got a very good Legendary too. No matter which one we take, it's very good. I think it's going to be the Sylvanas Windrunner. This card is apparently played in almost every constructed deck. Ysera's good. I don't really like playing it as a 9-drop though. A lot of times by the time you get there, you're just dead. And this guy is just consistently going to be amazing. So we'll go with Sylvanas Windrunner here. I don't like either of these 2 cards at all, so I'll take the Iron Bark Protector, which I'm not a huge fan of either, to be honest. So it's Demolisher or second Sunwalker. I'll take a second Sunwalker. The curve's a little high, but not that bad. And these 2 cards are both reasonable, but I've been picking up enough 3-drops. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Almost enough 3-drops. Man, I picked up these 4 cards within the first 10 picks, and then I barely got any other 2s. But it's nice to pick up a Wild Growth here. Most of these cards actually do not benefit from being Brewmastered. So maybe I'll just take another 3-drop. This is a 5/4 for 4. I'll take another Acolyte of Pain. Ooh, we got all of the removal in one pack. I'm going to go with a Wrath here. I already have a ton of stuff at the top end, so I want some early game. Yeah, I mean, I'll take another Starfire. I'm not upset about it. And I actually hate both of these cards, so I'm going to take the Mark of Nature, even though I'm not a huge fan of Pump, as I've been saying. I think the Stormwind Knight here. I don't need a 3rd Acolyte of Pain. When you get too many of those, it's not good. I hate Gurbashi Berserker in this kind of deck that doesn't have a way to ping it or like heal it or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna take another swipe. There's not really a limit to how many swipes I'll be happy to play. So either Pint-Sized Summoner or Emperor Cobra. Going from 2 to 4 is really bad in this deck. There's only 2 2-drops, so I'm probably gonna just go for the Cobra. Being said, I don't quite have enough 2-drops, and I have enough 3s. 3s are not as important as 2s, so I'll take the Summoner. But I think either way would have been fine. This deck seems pretty good. I mean, I've got a lot of removal in the swipes and the Starfires and a Wrath. I have finishers, 2 Sunwalkers, and a Assassin, I guess. I don't know, who cares about that thing? That thing's terrible. But I have an Ironbark Protector as well as a Sylvanas Windrunner. So yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest deck I've ever built. Ooh, and a Starfall. But at the same time, it looks pretty good. So obviously, with this... Ooh, never mind. So, coin, change. Trying to decide if I want to keep the Yeti. I could play it turn 3. Hopefully we'll pick up a 2-drop or something like that. Or we can just get nothing. So I'm probably not going to coin into Wild Growth here. Some people, you see that a lot, but if I just wait a turn, then I can play my 4-drop on turn 3. But I picked up a 3-drop, so I'm going to coin into it. That way I can play a 3-drop on turn 2. I mean, I could have done that anyway, but I also get the wild growth out there, so. Generally, I mean, sometimes it's okay to... Ooh, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1. Oh, wanted to be able to damage my Acolyte of Pain. That would have been really powerful. But without the ability to do that, drawing on 3-drop is really nice because I can play that. And now I can really curve out. Stampede and Kodo always is going to hit something against the Shaman because they have totems, so almost always. Obviously not always, but yeah, we're doing pretty well here so far. That's a little annoying, but... Alright, I have, I guess, a decision to make. Not really. I mean, it's pretty clear what I have to do. I have no other, like, good play. And at least my my guys get to stay alive. I take some board presence control. But it would have been really nice if I could have armor up, or shapeshifted, and then attacked, killed one of the things, and then kept the Divine Shield on my Scarlet Crusader, maybe just killed the Wrath of Air Totem. But either way, things are definitely going pretty well so far. Next turn really depends on what he does, but chances are, yeah, I was thinking that something like that might happen. Ooh, and a Rockbiter weapon. So there's a straight up 2 for 2. That's fine with me. Alright. That's a little annoying. So yeah, my play is just going to be Kodo, I think. And yeah, so that was a straight up 2 for 2. And he's locked out at 2 mana this turn, so I did benefit a little bit from his last play. Plus I got to hit him for 2 damage. And yes, I was really hoping that the Kodo could eat a Hex because I have 2 Sunwalkers in hand. So I guess there's a reasonable chance that he's got another Hex in hand if he was willing to use it on just a 3/5, but it's unlikely that he's got 2 more Hexes, so... Alright. Ravenhold Assassin. Yeah. Guy seems okay here. I know he doesn't have a Hex or anything, so I'm just going to keep attacking him. I'm not going to start trying to take care of his creatures because they have to attack into me anyway, so... I don't know. This is looking alright. Definitely looking alright. Especially drawing the swipe is very good. I have this thing that I can just eat his Gurubashi Berserker. He's probably going to attack into that. Interesting. Okay, so now, I mean, I can finish it off with a swipe. Alright, so let's just think about this for a little bit before I make any rash decisions. So I could just hit him for 11, 15. That seems really bad. 16. Still bad. I could kill the Stormwind, swipe that, eat that, play out a Swamp Ooze and Shapeshift. I think that's probably going to be my best play. There are probably some other plays, but I think that that is the most reasonable one. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to actually... Yeah, the Shapeshift. The Shapeshift is actually relevant, so I'm not even going to take any damage on my Sunwalker. And I'm just going to be able to go ahead, hit him in the face, 4 damage, complete board control, still have about the same amount of cards in hand, even though I have committed 2 to the board. Just that whole situation really worked out for me. And my guy's not even in range of like a fire elemental or anything. Right, so he's got a taunter. Not a big deal. Stone Claw Totem. I don't think I've ever read the name of this one. Alright. That's okay. That's not so bad either. Alright. So I actually have the combo here, which is okay. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to lose that game, but I really did want to give it +4 attack to make it a 6-power Wind Fury. That would have been really fun. Just kill him straight from there. Anyway, that game went according to plan. Got off to an early start. My opponent did a pretty good job of stopping it, but then had 2 Sunwalkers. I only needed to play 1. That really just got me there. And the Assassin actually did a lot of work. just being able to kill Stormwind, just trading there, that was really useful. I didn't have another good way of getting rid of Stormwind, so yeah, I guess you got to give him credit sometimes. So I'm on the play here. Probably don't even want Wild Growth here. It's going to be a long time before I can cast it, because I'm going to be casting Summoner on 2 and hopefully a 3-drop on 3. So I'm going to get rid of that. It's good on the, I mean, it's better on the draw when you can just coin into it, but yeah, alright, so this is a pretty decent hand. This card is obviously garbage in my opener, but whatever. 3-drop is nice here. I can play Fairy Dragon into Divine Shield guy, Scarlet Crusader. I don't know why I just called it Divine Shield guy. That was weird. But yeah, this opponent is fine for me. Like, I mean, Scarlet Crusader is pretty bad against 1/1s, but my hero ability is just completely trades with them, so that's fine. I'm trying to decide, maybe I think I want to go with Summoner here. I also have 3 swipes, so that's really good for just picking off these random tokens. Thinking that I might want to do this, just because there's a good chance that my first one's going to die, and I'd rather have a Fairy Dragon with 3 power than a Pint-sized Summoner. I'm not really sure how it's going to die, but I feel like that's going to happen. Also, this does give me the ability to play Fairy Dragon for 1 and then Shapeshift, so it does give me a couple more options in that sense, especially if his play is just Reinforce here, and that's really good for me. Or if it's just like a Loot Hoarder or something. I don't know, something with 1 toughness. Alright, so he's just going to attack me, smart play, and Fairy Dragon. So basically the same thing that I was saying can happen. No, not really. Oh, wow. Well, that was something that I hadn't considered, drawing this perfect card for this situation. And we have effectively taken over the board. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that he can do. He hasn't even hit 4 lands, so he can still play Consecration. But that's definitely something that I should be playing around for next turn. So Fairy Dragon, less likely to come out than Scarlet Crusader. I could play both, but yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to try and play around Consecration at least a little bit. So right now I would get 2 for 1 by it, sort of, because my Stormwind Knight already killed something, just nommed. Okay, so he's going to go with that and that. Sure, that's fine with me. So my first thing is going to be, I'm going to Shapeshift. Sorry, Druid of the Claw. My first thing is going to be to play this. Then I'm going to Shapeshift and attack into this. If it's a Noble Sacrifice, then I'll attack the Noble Sacrifice and kill it. And then I can still finish off the 1/1 with my 2/2 without it dying. So one of the reasons why secrets are bad is just because it's so easy to play around. I knew that it could have been a number of things. I tested for all of them, and then I made my play accordingly, and he didn't get a full card's worth of value out of it. So yeah, I feel impressed with myself and happy about it. Anyway, this Pint-sized Summoner has really done some work for me. Allowed me to Shapeshift, or allowed me to play this a turn earlier, Shapeshift this turn. So yeah, Consecration is something I was expecting, but I already got value out of both of those cards, so them dying is not a big deal. And all I do is lose a Divine Shield off of my Scarlet Crusader. So 2 real plays here. I can play Wild Growth and Fairy Dragon, so I can play an Assassin next turn and still get some power on the board. I guess I can play this in charge or attack or defense mode. Either works in this kind of spot. Probably defense mode is better. Yeah, I'm just going to play this guy in defense mode, to be honest. Because it just gives me such a big board presence that my opponent has to deal with in order to not, like, because it protects my 3/1 from, like, random 1/1, so I don't have to kill him every turn, though I probably still will. But, I don't know, I think that this is just the better play, especially because this would be mana inefficient. Then again, Hammer of Wrath, sure. The combined things, I think he might be up a card or so. I'm trying to decide if it's worth playing Wild Growth at this point, or if I should just wait until I get to 10. Probably still play it. I'm definitely going to attack there. I'm not going to play the Kodo without some value. So I'm just going to play some spells. It definitely could be that I should have just waited on the Wild Growth, because once you get to 10 mana, you can just cast it to get another card called Excess Mana, and then you just get to draw a card. But, and it's not ramping me to anything specific. other than like if I draw something. Alright, so Aldor Peacekeeper here is pretty good. Takes away my threat, really. But I guess I can continue, I can just keep nomming his 1/1s every turn. So I can do that already. Harvest Golem's not a bad draw here. I guess I'm going to play Kodo and Harvest Golem. Trade here. Attack him for the good old one. I didn't necessarily have to trade the Fairy Dragon for that, but I mean it's better in case he's got something like Blessing of Kings or Blessing of Might even to trade or to take down my 1/6. Okay. Can play around that one pretty easily here. Just trying to find the best way to do so. I could just attack with all my guys. No, that's not great. Could attack with 2 of my guys. Probably, yeah, I'm probably just going to do this. This is like the most obvious play. And I can't really see any reason why it's particularly bad. The main reason, I guess, is that I don't get to play a Ravenhold Assassin this turn, or Sunwalker. But either way. So he's up to 7 cards in hand, so I do have to worry about that. He has a full 2-card advantage over me, even if you count this as a full card. So, and this one also. They're both, like, not full cards. And I barely even have such a big life advantage. So I'm actually not winning by that much this game. If I'm winning at all. Though I guess that does seem kind of silly, because this, yeah, and he's got another Hammer of Wrath here. So that's pretty good for him. And I'm not going to be able to take out the 3/5 here. Alright. So, yeah, I'll play this thing and this thing. Kill that, and then hit him for 3. Threatening lethal? 7, 10, 14, 15, 16. Threatening lethal. Doubt that that's going to happen. I mean, he's got access to a lot of different cards, but it's always nice to... oh my god, that's his 3rd Hammer of Wrath. Dear god. That is crazy. Yeah, I guess Violet Teacher's pretty good in his deck. But at the same time, I do have this Ravenhold Assassin who's stealth now and is going to be behind a Taunter next turn, regardless of whether or not he can kill my 1/5, because I do have Sunwalker, and my opponent doesn't have a great way of killing Sunwalker. Like, he can do it reasonably well, but not in an excellent way. So yeah, he's just going to attack into that thing, and then he's got another card. I thought it would just be a reinforce here. Okay, so yeah, I actually have a pretty good shot of just being able to mop this game up. Can I kill him right now? Yeah. 10. Okay. That's exactly lethal.
Problem solved.
Thank you, Starfire. Alright, so that was a nice top deck, but I think I was going to be able to put myself in a position where all he would have is these 2 guys, and he'd still have to deal with a Sunwalker, which, I mean, it's definitely doable, but then he also has to deal with the 7/5 after that, so I don't know. It would have been pretty hard for him to win anyway, so not really too concerned with that. Yeah, we'll do one more game. Starting at 2-0 with this deck is pretty sweet. I do think it's a good deck, but definitely has weaknesses. There's no 1-drops. Barely any cheap removal. Just like a Wrath. I didn't pick up any claws. I thought I would find some, but for whatever reason, they just didn't show up. Unreliable claws. Not coming to their day jobs. I think I saw probably 2 or 3 in the draft. I just kept taking better cards over them. There was, I think, one point where I should have taken one, but I can't remember what I took over it. Anyway, playing against a warrior. Draw? No. Definitely don't want Starfall or Swipe. Trying to decide on the Wild Growth. Probably not. Yeah, I need to draw 2 drops here. I really need to get something going in the early game. Not ideal. Because, I mean, my turn 1 I'm not going to be able to do anything. He can coin into a 2-drop and then play another 2-drop on 2, and if that happens, then he just is so far ahead of me. That's why I had to mulligan all my cards just to hope that I get something, but ended up working out because he didn't have a coin play on turn 1, and now I get to play my Fairy Dragon, which I just drew, which I probably wouldn't have drawn if I hadn't mulliganed all my cards. So I mean, that's one thing that you have to consider when mulliganing, is you also just shuffle one of the cards back in, so I don't know. Guess it doesn't really make much sense. Imp Master. Well, that's an interesting one. I think I'm just going to attack that thing. Play a Harvest Golem. That way, he doesn't really have a good way to get a 2-for-1 out of his Imp Master. Well, that's pretty good. That's actually very good. But at least I will be able to kill the Imp Master. Yeah, still play 2-1. I don't really see much of a reason to attack his 1-1. I don't care which of my creatures he kills, and he's definitely going to kill one of them, so it's not really a big deal to me. Hopefully he plays like a, I don't know, but something that is very good for my Stampeding Kodo to just murder. Wow. Talk about reliability. That was amazing. Like, I couldn't even think of the card that I wanted him to cast, and then he cast the perfect card. Because it's so difficult to not get like 2-for-1 or at least 1-for-1 by an Acolyte of Pain, and I found a way. And generally, what you do is you either just let him draw a card, or you have to use premium removal. So the fact that I was able to avoid both of those was very good for me. So he's going to play a Slam here, and I'm not exactly sure what that accomplishes for him.
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
Okay, so he's going to be able to play that, and that will now trade with my Stampeding Kodo if I want that to happen. I think I do. I can just play... Should I play a Tiger here? Yeah, I'll play a Tiger, because that way next turn I can play the Chillwind Yeti and the Scarlet Crusader. And I have a Tiger. I lose a mana this turn, but I was going to lose that mana the next turn. Probably. I guess I could have just done a Tiger and Shapeshift the next turn. But then, yeah, then I don't have a Scarlet Crusader out, so... Even though it looks mana inefficient, it actually is pretty efficient. Okay, Swamp Ooze. Looks like this will be a great opportunity for me to Starfall. Especially if he plays another thing that I can kill. Which it seems likely. Oh, no! Alright, still gonna do it. Don't kill my Loot Hoarder. Thank you. So yeah, just get the 2-for-1 out of the Starfall. Yeah, that seems fine. I want to get those cards off the board, and then this way I still get to attack him for a bunch. Still have a removal spell in hand and a charge guy, so... Or just like 8 damage, I guess. So, is he dead next turn? No, I can take him 1. If I had more mana. And he didn't armor up. Okay, so he's got an Arcanite Reaper here. That's pretty good for him. But it does mean that this guy's coming out in defense mode. Or we'll play Sunwalker. This guy's probably better here. Yeah. Because I can also play the Scarlet Crusader. Get some more power on board. He can't attack into this. He's got to find a different way to deal with this, or he's just going to straight up lose the game. There's no way that he can... Okay. Yeah. I think he's still dead. Especially since I've got a swipe in hand. And he's only got 2 more mana, so he can go up to 13, then take... I guess he's not going to attack into that. Doesn't matter though. 7, 9. Yeah, he's dead. It doesn't matter. Like, he's taking the damage regardless. So now he's down to 9 life. I can hit him for 5 and then swipe him. Still have 1 extra damage cut from my Shapeshift, but getting the old well played. And yeah, this deck has just dominated the first 3 matches. I mean, I don't think any of them were particularly close. I can't really remember. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stop by for the next one. Have a wonderful day. Bye.